Welcome back again. Today we want to work on Bitmap. We have been treating our banners, our background, our text, but right now we want to deal with our pictures and to make our bitmap in form of a beautiful background. So for the first time, we shall be importing our picture and try to edit it, take it away from the background and see the effect. That is the first step to bitmapping. So let's import our picture. Ctrl I, go to where you have your picture folder. So this is the picture I'll be using for the class. Yes, as you can see this picture, this is the picture I want to be using for the class. I need to remove it away from the background. Let me just double click on my rectangle to give me a background as usual. I want this picture to be inside this background, but I don't want the picture background. How will I do it? Any picture you import is already on Bitmap, except you want to convert it yourself again. So go to your Bitmap and click on Edit Bitmap, or on your property bar, you will see it here, Edit Bitmap. Once you click on it, it's going to take you to another environment, which is our Corel photo paint. That means where you color, where you edit your photos in form of a Photoshop application, but this one is under Corel Draw. I will only be taking us through to the editing and see how we can go through it. So the tools we shall be using is our Marquee tool. So I have this one that is called Lasso Mask tool. Lasso Mask tool. Click on that Lasso Mask tool. If you have a very light background, I will take you the other one that you can use. Then you start from anywhere you can start, but it is advisable you start from the down part. You start from the down part because we want to crop away this beautiful girl out of that rough background. I start from the down part, and remember, where you start is where you will stop. Then I begin to trace. You begin to trace it. As you are moving, you will be clicking before you go to the next shape. You begin to trace according to how the picture looks like. Try not to cut away cheek. Try not to cut away hair. Try it. It may not be as fast as I am. And for the first time you are doing it, may not be as neat as this. But don't relent. Keep it up. In small time, you will become an expert. Do you see? If you make mistake, just press delete on your keyboard. Delete. Do you see? It will delete back to the previous one. Then you continue. If I come here, I've made mistake, just press delete. It will take it away. So you don't need to give yourself problem. And you don't need to stop on the way and say you want to go and do another thing. If you do that, you have to start your cropping from beginning, from afresh. So when you are doing something like this, you need to be very serious. Now when I get to where I start, I double click. Don't forget, double click at where you start. That is it. What are we going to do now? Cut. Ctrl X to cut the selection and place it on the clipboard. I've cut away the beautiful girl. Create a new background. Ctrl N to create a new background. I don't want background because that is the reason why we come here. So you have to pick no background. If you don't select no background, it's still going to come with another background entirely. So it has no meaning for us to come there. So click on OK. Then you paste. Do you see? Ctrl V to paste. This is a beautiful girl here. This is just what we have done. Do you see it? Very beautiful. If I want the edges to smooth so that all these cut will not show, you go to your object and click on feather. Give it like 5, you see? If I give it 5, this eye is to preview how it looks like. It's okay. If I give it 7, okay, it's okay. It has smoothened all those cut edges. Then you click on OK. The next thing for you to do is to save. Save it with a name. And don't forget to know the exact folder you are saving it. I'm saving it in my picture folder. Then you click on save. That's all. You are free to close this application. You don't need to save. Then import. From where do we save it? We save it inside picture number 2. Then this is my beautiful girl. Do we see the difference? Does it look like her? Yes. That is how to crop away picture from our background. Very simple with the use of our edit bitmap. But let's say this one is a plain background or not as heavy as it is. Convert it to bitmap, select transparent background. Then I can click on edit bitmap. There are two ways to do it, but the first one is the very neat one, is the neatest one. Let's edit the bitmap. If you cannot be cropping the way I crop, but let me tell you, you won't get it as neat as the one I crop myself. Now, look at this tool here. We have our magic wand. Click on it, delete. What happened? It's deleting the background for you. Do you see? If you are a lazy type, you can use this one. But then it won't be, do you see? You begin to click one by one until you delete everything, finish. So this type of deleting, you see, I have cut away ahead in the process of deleting. That is one of the disadvantages of this. It works better on a simple background, not a complex background that you have. Then I take my rectangle marking to select it. See what I have done. If it's okay, it has not yet cleaned off, then you can use your eraser tool to complete it. Increase your size. Let me give it to 50. That one is too small. You see? So you begin to erase it. Zoom out so that you don't erase rubbish. This type of background remover is for lazy type. For lazy type who find it difficult to crop. And you will say that the process is too much. But if you try to crop and it's not neat, this is an amateur way of cropping. But you can crop it very well when you are on a simple background. This type of background, the picture is a complex one. So that is why it's giving us this problem. Do you see? You need to clean it off by yourself. You need to clean it off by yourself. You need to clean it off by yourself. You can use it. If you have the time also, you can use it, but it takes much more time than using the normal crop. And when you are through, just click on save. You will see it on your correct draw like that. Do you see? Do you see the difference from the one we crop and the one we use a lazy type of cropping? But you can use this sample when you are having a small background, like a plain background like this, and you want to remove her from ordinary background, it's still okay. But this one is a complex one. That is why it is rough. Any of the two methods you can try to use, and you will bring out your picture away from your background. That is the first step to bit mapping. With this, you can edit your picture. You can do a simple Photoshop effect. Try to use many of the tools and see the wonders it performs. Thank you.